And we're live. Hello and welcome everyone to our second workshop for today. I am Mikael and I am honored to introduce the speaker for today's session. I hope everyone is making great progress with their coding projects, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two from our speaker today. So Mr. Ming is the co-founder of the Hacker Collective. The title of his session today is My Journey as a Self-Taught Developer and Strategies for Being a Successful Developer. So without wasting any more time, I invite Mr. Ming to the stage. The floor is yours.
Production, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can everyone hear me, by the way?
Loud and clear. Yep.
Cool. Is there a way I can speak to the audience in this presentation?
I guess you can just speak through
I'm just
through
curious
this.
who is watching and who is in the call.
Right.
But there are
Yeah.
people. How will they communicate with me? Is it through the chats or
They can comment down below.
in the comments in StreamYard? Is it?
No, in Facebook, on Facebook.
Okay. Oh, but will I be able to see their comments? Because I don't know if they're commenting on my things.
Yeah, if you go to the right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, thanks for tuning into this session. It won't be I won't take too long of your time. I wanted it to be a sharing session, but seeing we can do comments, I will watch your comments, guys, very closely. So feel free to just drop a comment anytime, right? So starting a tech adventure together. Now, why I wanted to share this topic, I guess when Mikhail reached out to me was it's actually my journey. Started about 4 years ago, back in 2016. Well, is it 4 or 5? I can't recall. Back in 2016, when I was doing business and marketing, and I worked in various corporate companies. Back in 2013 when I first started my career, so you probably can guess my age. So 2013 to 2016 or 2015 was when I was doing business, marketing, sales, and I just was like, tired of it for whatever reason, right? So I moved to tech, and this talk is about my experiences being a self-taught developer. If any of you out there says that, oh, you have no uni degree, how do you learn yourself? Like, you can learn yourself as a self-taught developer. And it's just me sharing with you my experiences, and it's been a very rewarding journey thus far. So if you know, this picture is by Ray Dalio, a very famous investor, and it's by his video called Principles of Success. And in his video, he talks about how everybody needs to have a group, whether it's like a lifelong, it's like a study group or like a learning group. You must have your buddies that can journey with you throughout your life, your career as a developer, even your your uni degree. So why is because all of us, every one of us, have our own unique experiences, our own insights. And I'm here sharing with you my personal insights to how I learn. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm just one of the insights that you can gather, and it's up to you to absorb my insights and apply it to yourself, right? So that's very critical. Don't take every word I say as like, oh, that's the truth, but at least absorb it. And when you absorb it, you will get a new perspective on how other people do things. So moving on, okay. My background, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a finance graduate from University of New South Wales. Hey, yes, Warren. Good to see you. Back in 2012. So I worked at various corporate jobs. As I mentioned, I changed my career to tech. I went to startups. So after 2016, right, I taught myself programming for a year. And what do you do when you learn programming? Well, I'm naturally a startup guy. I love startups. So I straight away just jumped into entrepreneurship and business. I did work for a couple of companies as well, mostly freelance and part-time jobs, doing projects for them. But my ultimate passion was really starting my own venture and using the power of technology that I had now to do software. And right now, I'm the CTO and co-founder of the Hacker Collective. What is the Hacker Collective? Very briefly, Hacker Collective. Um, Fundamentally, we're a group of individuals that want to make a change in society through technology. It sounds very cliche. It may sound like, wow, this is Another big fat statement from someone. No, think about it, right? We're a group of individuals, a group of people that we actively want to figure out how we can improve and make a change in society, but through technology, because technology is often one of the best ways you can make change, especially in this current modern day where everyone is involved in technology, right? Everyone has handphones, mobile phones, internet, everything is tech. So the future of innovation comes from tech. And what do you do when you have a group of individuals like this? Well, we like to, so we teach individuals in software. We have a special boot camp in 6 months. We tell people, like, if you don't go uni, fine, come to us for 6 months and we'll transition your career to a tech career all within 6 months. And we probably charge like 10% of the price of a uni, right? And we also build software startups. So we do two things: we teach and we build, right? And feel free to check us out, Hacker Collective. So my 1 year learning journey in 2016, when I first taught myself programming, it was very interesting. I just quit my job. I didn't even, I said, I have some savings, right? Some small savings. Okay, quit my job. I stayed in my room for the entire year, 7 days a week, 12 to 13 hours a day. I haven't counted number of hours, right? Every day I worked. I had a routine. And I just learned software. I learned programming. I read books. I learned everything. My beginning was, I was an explorer, if I can say that myself. Look at this picture here. If you take a look at it, you can see the vast array of software technologies out there. And there are many videos that people online, everyone is saying, wow, there's just too much to learn. How do you learn all this? I'm like, stop, don't learn all of this. You can't, right? But you have to be very, very selective with your learning. And that's one strategy we'll talk about later. But in the beginning, yes, you can't learn everything, but explore. You see these little boxes here? Okay, don't learn every single logo, fine, but explore each box. Each box consists of a unique technology. And in that technology space, yes, there's multiple different versions. It's like, I'm telling you now, okay, you want to be the best driver, right? Okay, don't
Hello, Ming. Ming, I'm sorry. I think your mic is disconnected.
Hello?
Yeah, you can hear you
Good
now.
now? Sorry,
Yep,
my
all
my
good.
thing is sensitive with the audio. Sorry about that. Can you hear me clearly now? Good. So yeah, so be an explorer in each different area, because what I will my suggestion, especially for anyone who wants to be in technology, right? If you want to be a software developer, exploration is key. If you don't explore, you will never be a good developer. I've talked to so many of the top developers, even friends of mine, right? Top developers, they love just exploring different things, because when you explore, you always expose yourself to new things. And software or technology is the space where you can always explore. And new things are always coming up. Next, let's see what's next. Another thing, very, very important. I had to learn how to learn. And I think this is one of the benefits I realized of being a self-taught developer. Self-taught anything, self-taught scientist, self-taught engineer, self-taught finance guy, whatever, right? Whatever you are self-teaching yourself, the thing is, when you teach yourself, and what I realized is you have to teach yourself how to teach. Like, you don't have a teacher telling you, hey, just read this syllabus, follow this, just be a follower. No, that's not how it goes in software world, right? When I was learning my journey, I sat in front of a computer. Okay, now what do I learn? What do I do? What do you do when you want to start learning something? You have to start figuring out. There is no teacher telling you learn A, learn B, learn C, exam is coming up. What I realize as well sometimes, I'm not saying every student out there is like that, but a lot of students I realize when they are given a syllabus, their mind is already fixed. Okay, I just have to learn this syllabus. And they just stop being an explorer, because an explorer means you are lost. You don't know what to do. You just wander around. But it's that wandering around that gets you, that makes you want to explore, But if so my learning was like this chart, as you can see, this line, right? It's a lot of moving around, and it may look bad, but actually, as long as you are going in the right direction, which is upwards, okay, and by the way, just to let you know, people can explore in the wrong direction as well, right? So as long as you're exploring in the right direction, you will learn a lot about how to learn new things. And that was my journey, right? Constantly just squiggling, moving along different paths, trying things out here and there. But it was a fun experience, and you must enjoy learning. If you enjoy learning, you will enjoy this process of self-learning. And by the way, just let you know, even after your uni degree, the reality is that you're gonna have to do this for the rest of your life. I'm gonna bet you on this, especially in software. You will be doing this for the rest of your life when there's no teachers around. So you better learn it up now anyways. Next, books were my best friend. I mean, I cannot stress it enough. Every time I talk to like whenever I just talk to people or fresh grads or talk to people that we hire, I just wonder in uni as well, right? I ask people, I'm asked my friends last time, like, hey, do you have textbooks? How do you learn software, right? A lot of times they will say, I have lecture notes. Lecture notes do not do you justice. I will tell you that in the software world, right? You must read. You cannot, lecture notes cannot replace books, especially if you want to be good. If you want to be really good, okay, whether you're not in uni, forget it. Books are your thing. YouTube videos cannot replace books. Blogs cannot replace books. Only books can replace books. If you get what I mean. So I show you here a couple of books and give you an example, right? These books, by the way, are some of the most famous books in the software world. Very famous. Like so famous till I even know who the heck these people, I even looked up their history, right? Robert C. Martin, such a famous guy, right? Robert Martin. Data intensive application. This guy is, I can't recall his name, but pretty solid guy as well. It's a very good book, Data Intensive Applications, right? One of the first few guys to talk about big data and how to design for big data. Building Microservices by Sam Newman, the critical book that everybody must read in microservices. He has a new book now, Microservices second version. NoSQL Distill. Oh, that's an amazing book by, I believe it's Martin Fowler, if I'm not mistaken, or Dave Thomas. I can't recall. Very good book. A couple of years ago, it released, talking about the essence of NoSQL. What is NoSQL? I mean, everyone does SQL in uni, right? But what's NoSQL? Amazing book. Pragmatic Programmer. I haven't personally read this, but it's one of like the must go-to books in your career software as well, right? So whether or not you're a hardware engineer or software engineer or techie in general, books are critical. So I advise you read these books. Next, when you solid routine is important for one thing, and this is just what helps me. But when you're actually like studying and working and coding and learning new stuff, 12 to 13 hours a day, right? If you aim to do 12 to 13 hours a day, so if you do 13 hours times 7 days a week, 13 hours times 7 days, you reach close to the 100-hour mark. Elon Musk is famous for saying, I work 100 hours a week. That's Elon Musk. I actually calculated. And if I did 13 hours a week, that's about 91 hours. It's about 9 hours short from Elon Musk, right? But how do you get close to the 100-hour? How do you even able to study and learn for that long? Everyone knows the benefits, right? The more you learn, the more hours you put in, you are going to be better than your next friend who is doing maybe like 40 hours, 50 hours a week. You're just going to be better because you can put in more hours. But how do you make that hours productive consistently, right? Have a routine. I'm not going to tell you what my specific routine was. Everyone has their routine, but it's so important to stress the routine. One thing I can add that worked really well for me was, if you're learning something for 13 hours a day, it's impossible. You have to split different topics throughout the 13 hours. So in one 13-hour day, I would probably have like 4 different sessions of like, maybe like 3 different sessions. Okay, 4 hours of this, 4 hours of something else. So it keeps you constantly motivated and engaged to learn. Very useful strategy. Okay, always change up your routine so you can do the 13 hours so you don't feel too tired. So that was my life and my strategy throughout my 1 year of learning software. I want to talk about some career strategies as well. What and my career is not very long. I only started 2016. 5 years. I've only been in software since I started learning 5 years ago, right? So not very long, right? Most people have a computer science degree of 3 years and they just fresh grad out. So most fresh grads have a starting career of 4 years in software already. I'm kind of like a second year fresh grad, if you can call it that. But I think firstly, it's so important to even have a career strategy, right? Without having a strategy for your career, what I notice is you won't earn the big bucks. You won't earn the big bucks because you do not plan for your career, and therefore when you work in the software world, you end up blowing like the wind. You jump to company A, you do tech A, then tech B, company B, tech C, tech B, sorry, company C, tech C. You just move around and you don't have a clear direction. That's very, very dangerous. So the first strategy that I realized quite early on was you have to bet on the right tech. Bet. I use the word bet. You know why? It's because whatever technology you learn, you are telling yourself this technology is worth my time. And you're spending time to learn this technology, and this technology doesn't pay off, or this technology goes down the drain, that's it. You just wasted your time. Yeah, you may say, oh, I'm still an experienced developer. I'm learning technology. It doesn't matter what tech it is, fine. But you're wasting your time because, like I said, there are so many things to learn. How do you know what is the right one, what's the wrong one? Right? I mean, learning is learning. Yeah, you gain some knowledge, but you want to learn the right thing so you don't just end up learning everything and then you just don't choose the right things. I give you a simple example. All right, and some people may not like me for this, but I like to talk a lot about PHP. 6 server-side languages to pick up, right? And by the way, those are all very famous. And if you can see over there, all the 6 famous programming languages. Now, it's important for you to understand the history of all these programming languages. Understand why were they created? What was the motivations behind it, right? A lot of people right now, especially I see in the Malaysian scene, we do PHP. And my guess why we do PHP and companies hire for PHP is because we have a lot. PHP is like, I don't know, 10, 20 years. It's an old language, right? As compared to a lot of these. It's a very old language, maybe 20 years old plus. A lot of senior tech CTOs or senior developers in companies, they learned PHP 20 years ago. And so as they progress along, they become very good at PHP. They don't want to leave PHP. Like, why leave PHP? I'm good at it. I don't want to throw away my tech and learn new things. So they stick to PHP. But guess what? About 8-9 years ago, and we all know JavaScript now, but 8-9 years ago, JavaScript was just a client-side framework. It was just meant for the web browser. Okay, a guy called Ryan Dahl, Ryandahl. You can watch his original video 9 years ago. He took the engine from the browser, the internet browser, which was Chrome. Chrome was around then. He took the Chrome engine called the Chromium binary. Okay, he took this JavaScript engine in Chrome, took it out, and extracted it. So now it can be deployed within servers. It can run in the server side. So this guy made Node.js. Node.js is a server-side library used to process JavaScript. When that came on, that changed everything because now JavaScript, which is the king of front end, you cannot replace JavaScript in the front end, right? Everything runs on front end JavaScript. Now it can be run in the back end. So now all startups like mine don't have to create front end in JavaScript, back end in PHP. You don't need that. All you need right now is JavaScript in the front end and in the back end. And because of that, JavaScript has become the king of server side right now. So to the point where it eclipsed PHP. So, but the issue is a lot of people in Malaysia still want to do PHP. And if you do PHP, I've seen many cases of senior PHP developers who work 6, 7, 8 years in a career. They say, you know what? I'm going to throw everything away. I'm going to jump to JavaScript because PHP, I realize, is not the future. So right now, if I see students who are learning PHP, I tell them, don't learn PHP. It's not the future. Why are you learning PHP? Is it because your boss told you so? Is it because your lecturer told you so? Why? You got to tell yourself why you want to learn PHP or why you're betting on it. If you don't care, means you're not betting. You are just simply learning whatever people tell you to learn. And that's not good for your career. Bet you on that. It's not good for your career, right? So I won't tell you which is the best language here to learn. I do have my own preferred choices, but look it up, right? Front end, same thing. Figure out there's so many front end technologies out there. You got to choose which is the best front end framework. You can learn everything, you can, but it's not going to be to your favor. So us at my company, we spend a lot of time figuring out what the best technology is, and we bet on it. Okay, this technology is going to be good, and we switch. And we have to be fast switches. If you realize something is wrong, oh, there's something new that came up, we have to switch and we have to try. We always have to explore in the right direction. As long as we're exploring the right direction, it's fine to make mistakes once in a while, but as long as we're going in the right direction, right? Going PHP is exploring in the wrong direction. You're exploring like downwards, negative, okay? You want to explore in the right direction. That's the critical thing. So that's for your career. Another one, very, very important, go deep or wide. I'm sure you all may have heard of this, but this picture tells 1,000 words, right? So, and depends what career you want to have. Do you want to be a specialist or a generalist? Why I say this is because as well, as you move up in your career, you're going to realize that, and this applies to not just tech, it applies to a lot of fields, whether it's finance or engineering as well, definitely, right? You can choose to specialize in one single branch, or you can move across, right? As you do breadth of knowledge, it becomes a lot more of a management role if you do breadth of knowledge, because you now with your breadth of knowledge, you can manage teams, manage people, right? If you're a specialist, you don't have to manage anyone. You just focus on your work, and you are like the only guy that can do that, right? And you just want to choose in one single field. So, and of course, some people can have multiple specializations if they're really good. Personally, my own career strategies, of course, I'm going to go breadth. I would hope to be a comb shape, of course, right? So each of these area can be one specialization. But definitely I need to go breadth. As running a company, you have to know a lot of things, right? Very, very important. So moving on, I can't stress this enough. Be an early adopter. And if you look at it, you can see what's happening over here, right? It pays to be an early adopter in the software world, because when you're an early adopter, you reap all the new benefits that a lot of other people don't have. And this is why I love software as well. Software is a field where every year or every 6 months, you have the chance to be a new early adopter, right? Because there's new things always coming. So software is the world where it always helps the underdogs. You don't care whether some companies are 100 years old or whether they have 1,000 people. If that company doesn't innovate and adopt new technology, that company is going to die out. Guarantee you. You probably can't say the same for accounting firm or law firm, because accounting and law doesn't change. But you can say the same for tech firm. So when you're a new guy on the block, or you're a new startup, or you're a new individual, and you want to get that top position in the company, you want to get promoted fast, learn the new things. Because when you learn the new things that other people don't learn, you're the only one with that skills. And then you can offer unique value than what other people cannot offer, right? Because you're not just a developer. You're a Rust developer, Pony developer, Elixir developer. Whoa, people are like, what's that, right? And then when they see the benefits of whatever these new languages are, and of course you have to choose properly, right? There's a lot of new things out there. You got to choose properly. But when you bet on the right technology and go early adopter on it, you reap the early benefits, right? It's like buy low, sell high, right? You come in early when no one else is around, then you get the benefits, you get the salary promotion, right? So if you look at this, you can see rough programming languages, Golang, Swift, early adopters. Rust, I never heard of Pony before, funny enough, but I am a big fan of Elixir and Go. So, look, okay, JavaScript is up there with Ruby and PHP, right? So if you're doing JavaScript now, you're late majority, okay? But JavaScript is still king. You cannot run away from JavaScript. I can't say the same for Ruby or PHP though. I'm sorry to like diss on PHP and Ruby, but unfortunately that's the case. Looking at web development trends, Tailwind CSS, something that we use a lot at our company. I love Tailwind CSS. CSS grids are very nice. Design systems, post CSS. Yeah, so if you can at least, so if you want to do web development, look at these, right? I've never heard of this before. This is very interesting. Algorithmic CSS layouts. They're very interesting as well, right? So do check it out. Okay. This is a good strategy. Never follow the crowd. And it relates a bit back to here, right? I love this strategy because it really links back to sailboat racing, right? Sailboat racing offers the chance to observe an interesting reversal of follow the leader strategy, right? The leader imitates the follower even when the follower is pursuing the wrong strategy. Why? Because in sailboat racing, close doesn't count, only winning matters. If you have the lead, the surest way to stay ahead is to play monkey see, monkey do. For those of you that don't understand these concepts, it's what I learned a lot, especially in startup strategy as well, especially in tech company, right? Or even if you are, let's say a developer or engineer and you want to get promoted fast, you can never get promoted above your boss or faster than your boss if you're doing what your boss is doing. You get what I'm saying? Your boss is whatever, he's doing some engineering thing, he's doing some software thing, and he's learning that, okay? And if you're doing what he's doing, you're always going to be behind him because you're just following in his footsteps. The only way to beat the boss or to beat your manager or to get promoted faster, I guess, right? Or to cut the line, as they call it, if you wanted to, was to pursue a different strategy. So not just your boss, and let's talk about the whole, let's say the jobs market, right? Other applicants who are competing for the job. If every other applicant out there is doing strategy A, then if you do strategy as well, you're following the crowd. Don't follow the crowd. Do something different. Of course, when you do something different, you run a risk that this something different may not be the right strategy. You have a risk that you could even be worse behind, even like more further behind than if you had followed the strategy. But that's where you have to place your bets. And you have to be very clear that what you're going on is the right strategy. But that's if you want to, take the lead. If you just want to follow, right, and be safe, just follow. Hey, you want to be safe, right? Just follow what everyone's doing. You will be safe. You will not be out of a job, unemployed, or whatever. I'm talking for people who want to leapfrog and jump ahead, right? So that's the critical part. That's very critical, right? Never follow the crowd. Okay, so this was the other one, as I mentioned earlier, with this T strategy, right? Choose your path. Do you want to be a management guy or you want to be a specialist? I think it's very important that you know this, maybe not early on, but the earlier you know it, the better, right? If you want to be in management, then you know that, okay, people skills are very important, right? So in the startup that I run, we always want to try and find people that can manage other people, because when they can manage other people, they can take on more responsibilities when you can manage teams. And that's how people get promoted very fast. Whereas if you want to be a specialist and not a management, since you don't like talking to people, you don't like managing people, that's fine. Make sure you choose a specialization and you be very good in it, right? Or you can have multiple specializations. It's fine, okay? But ultimately, this comb shake thing, there's a limit to how many combs you can have. Yeah, I mean, maximum is like 4 or 5 or even 1 or 2. You can't have like 10 or 20 specializations. It's not a specialization anymore, right? So choose a few key areas where you want to go in and just focus on it. So yeah, the next session I had really was more of a game session, but since we're not doing any talks over here, I'm open for any questions. If not, hey, thanks for joining in this session, and any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and really thank the people at YME for creating this amazing session. I hope I could have talked to you guys, but perhaps the next one. So yeah, that's really all from my end. Thanks, guys.
Hello. Yep. Okay. Thank you very much, Ming. We appreciate you dropping gems and sharing with us your useful tips and advice from your life as a self-taught developer. I'm pretty sure you've inspired at least a handful of our audience, and may your advice today direct them towards the right path. Thank you everyone for joining in with us today. To all hackathon participants, please be sure to check the mentoring session schedule for your respective mentors. All right. Have a nice day, everyone. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Bye bye.